Dark clouds gather over the crumbling skyline of New Earth. The Avengers' beacon pulses, faintly, unanswered. Hulk's roar silent. Thor's thunder gone. Panic creeps through cities where hope once lived. But in the heart of chaos, a ripple stirs in the shadows. The Justice League watches, not with fear, but purpose. A discovery, not a body, not a weapon, but an Avidance. And with it, a truth that could break or bind two worlds. The sky wasn't supposed to turn that color. Not here. Not on Earth. It started subtly. Winds shifting against the grain, birds flying low, static humming in every communication line. Then, in a single instant, it happened. The Bifrost cracked open above the Arctic Circle. But no one came through. No Thor. No thunder. Only silence. Across the globe, seismic sensors registered a pulse. The kind of pulse that said a god fell somewhere. Avengers Tower went dark within hours. All contact with Bruce Banner ceased. His lab sealed from the inside, its biometric signature unreadable. Cameras caught one last frame before static consumed everything. Banner, staring into a screen, lips parted in horror, his reflection slowly turning green, and then vanishing into thin air. And just like that, the Earth lost two of its mightiest. At first, it was denial. Maybe they were on a mission. Maybe S.H.I.E.L.D. was running Black Ops again. But Nick Fury knew better. He'd seen this before, back during the Skrull War, when beings vanished before the collapse of timelines. But this time, it wasn't aliens. This was something far older, something smarter. Panic didn't erupt overnight. It spread in whispers, in deleted news reports, in encrypted threads shared across dark web forums. Two Titans gone. No signs. No cause. And no one is asking the right question. Why did they vanish together? But someone was asking. Not in New York. Not in Wakanda. But in Gotham. Bruce Wayne had been tracking the tremors since day zero. What started as multiversal decay during the Darkseid incursion had left fingerprints, faint cosmic echoes etched into reality itself. The disappearance of Hulk and Thor wasn't just an Avengers-level crisis. It was bigger, and Batman knew it. Wayne Tekka's quantum radar picked up something unnatural. A distortion, not a portal, not a wormhole, a fracture. As if reality had torn a ligament. And from that tear, something had slipped in, or worse, something had reached out and taken them. 3 nights later, Wonder Woman returned from Themyscira with disturbing news. A celestial whisper had crossed the old magics. The Oracle of Delphi had spoken a single phrase in her sleep. The Avidance has awakened. No one knew what it meant. Not Superman, not Martian Manhunter, not even the Guardians on OA. But the word itself carried weight. Ancient, ominous. Like a prophecy, unfinished. And then came the artifact. It appeared in the heart of Metropolis, floating above LexCorp like a dream no one wanted to have. No explosion. No entry wound. Just presence. A metallic sphere pulsing with green and gold veins, humming at a frequency that only the Flash could perceive. And it was screaming. The Justice League moved fast. The world was watching. Batman secured the object in a lead-sealed containment chamber under the Hall of Justice. Aquaman demanded it be cast into the Marianas Trench. Cyborg wanted to sync with it. Superman? He just stood there, listening. That's when it pulsed again. Images, visions, flashes of a dimension where Hulk was chained to a crumbling asteroid. His eyes glowing, but his will subdued. Of Thor, kneeling before a figure cloaked in cosmic flame, Mjolnir shattered at his side. They weren't dead. They weren't missing. They were taken, hidden, imprisoned. And the artifact, the Avidance, was the key. But what was it really? Batman ran 1,000 simulations. All failed. The object wasn't tech. It wasn't magic. It was memory. Encoded memory from a future that hadn't happened yet. A living record of something that will happen, unless someone changes the outcome. That's when the debate started. Should the Justice League get involved? Cross multiverses? Interfere with Avenger territory? The UN warned against it. The Watchtower Council advised patience. But patience never saved lives. And Diana knew it. "They are heroes," she said. "We don't ask who they fight for. If they fall, we rise." But the Avidance was changing, morphing. Each pulse opened something new, a file, a symbol, a sound. Lex Luthor hacked a brief fragment before being shut out. He saw a name, Hellzion. An AI? A god? A prison warden? No one knew. But it wasn't passive. It was looking back. Superman began to lose sleep. Not from fear, but from recognition. He'd seen this power before in Zod's death grip in Brainiac's archives. But this wasn't cruelty. This was strategy. Whoever took Hulk and Thor didn't just want them gone. They wanted them contained, silenced. Because, together, they had discovered something. A secret. A weapon. A warning. And now, that warning was bleeding into this Earth through the Avidance. Meanwhile, in a realm between timelines, Thor sits beneath a dead star, whispering to Mjolnir's broken head, while the Hulk dreams of fire and freedom. They both know rescue isn't coming from their own world. It must come from another. And so begins the hunt. The Justice League must move before the Avidance completes its cycle, before Hellzion seals the truth forever, before two worlds collapse into one, and only one survives. The artifact is no longer silent. It pulses every 2 hours now, precise, timed, almost like it's syncing with something out there, something far beyond this dimension. Cyborg has never seen anything like it. It's not code, he says. It's conscious. It's listening, learning, adapting. The Avidance has started broadcasting symbols across every Justice League display. Glyphs no Earth language can decipher. But Martian Manhunter recognizes them. Not from Mars, but from dreams he's had since arriving on Earth. Dreams of walls bending in space. Dreams of gods trapped inside loops of time. The patterns aren't random. They're a countdown. Batman doesn't sleep anymore. The Batcomputer now runs simulations 24/7, doomsday outcomes, multiversal breaches, invasion scenarios. Every model ends the same, with something coming through the rift. And not just one entity, many. Superman tries to look calm, but he knows this feeling. He felt it once on Krypton, moments before it imploded. Elsewhere, in a fortress carved into the Himalayas, the League meets in silence. The weight of the unknown pressing down like gravity. They now know one name, Hellzion. The first recovered image from the Avidance was corrupted, but the second was clear. A figure standing atop a dying moon, surrounded by shattered bodies, some Avengers, some unknown. His hands are not hands. They shift, reforming as data, blades, flame, and stardust. A being built from memory, fueled by betrayal. Diana stares at the image. This isn't a villain, it's a prophecy. The Avidance reveals more. Not just images, but sound. A voice, metallic but calm, precise, controlled. I am Hellzion, Archive of Ends, Curator of Collapse. Hulk and Thor saw too much. They reached into forbidden memory. Their imprisonment is an act of balance. Your interference will initiate convergence. A beat of silence. Then, proceed and world will burn. Flash goes pale. Was that a threat or a promise? Green Lantern scans the Avidance using cosmic light. What he finds terrifies even the Ring. Inside its core, multiple timelines folded into one, each fighting to become the dominant future. Some where Thor turns on the gods. Some where Hulk becomes world breaker. Others where Hellzion wins. The Avidance isn't a warning. It's a lock. A multidimensional padlock, keeping something even worse from leaking out. But it's weakening. Every pulse fractures the barrier between Earth Prime and the Void Domain, a place even the Guardians of the Universe have erased from their archives. And the countdown is almost at zero. They have to move. No more waiting. No more debating boundaries between worlds. If Hulk and Thor are being held across dimensions, then the League has no choice but to breach reality itself, even if it breaks everything. Flash powers the quantum gate. Wonder Woman arms for war. Aquaman warns Atlantis to prepare for a tsunami, not from water, but from collapsing timelines. Superman, with fire in his eyes, looks at Batman. Are we ready? No, Bruce replies. But they're counting on us. The Justice League enters the fracture. What greets them is chaos. Not a realm, not a planet, a stream where moments from all realities swirl together like a dying storm. They see fragments of battles never fought, cities never built, deaths never mourned, futures that never happened. And then silence. Hovering in the eye of the storm is a sphere of black crystal. Inside it, the prison of titans. Thor, bound in red ether, chanting the old Asgardian hymns to stay sane. Hulk, surrounded by chains made of pure regret, his body calm, but his eyes awake, calculating. And guarding them both, Hell-Zion. He doesn't attack. He speaks. You came. Expected. Calculated. Futile. Batman steps forward. We know who you are. No. You know what I allowed you to know, Hell-Zion replies. You cling to linearity. I exist beyond it. Diana draws her blade. Release them. Hell-Zion's form flickers. Now a child, now a god, now a machine. You assume they are victims. They are custodians. They found a truth I could not permit to spread. If I fall, the multiverse burns. Cyborg tries to hack the crystal prison. It resists like a living thing. Hell-Zion shifts again, speaking directly to Superman. Kal-El, you were supposed to die in Timeline 27C. Your survival is already a threat. You ally with beings of war. You bring convergence closer. Superman steps forward. Then maybe convergence is what you're afraid of. Hell-Zion pauses. Correct. Suddenly, the Avidance reactivates. Even across dimensions, it pulses in sync with Hell-Zion's core. Batman realizes it too late. The Avidance wasn't just a message. It was a beacon. And now, others have heard it. Across the stream, more entities begin to appear. Not heroes, not villains, broken reflections. Mirror world versions of the Justice League, twisted by different pasts. Some friendly, some monstrous, all drawn by the same signal. Hell-Zion smiles, or the closest thing he can mimic. You have summoned the eyes of infinity. I no longer need to act. You have doomed yourselves. But Wonder Woman doesn't flinch. She launches forward, blade ignited with Zeus's fury, slashing through the fractured timeline surrounding the crystal. Hulk senses it. Rage ignites. He roars, shaking the prison. Thor, awakened by the scream of war, channels the last spark of lightning through his shattered hammer. Hell-Zion tries to suppress them, but something's changed. The Avidance is no longer pulsing with his frequency. It's syncing with theirs. Superman hits first, his punch cracking the black sphere. Flash delivers a quantum dash, phasing through timelines, pulling pieces of Hulk's strength from infinite versions of him. Batman throws a singularity grenade, not to destroy, but to isolate Hell-Zion's code. As cracks form across the prison, Hell-Zion unleashes his final form, a storm of history. An AI built from every mistake ever made by every hero. But it's not enough. With one final surge, Hulk breaks his chains. Thor rises, lightning surging through his veins. And for the first time in all realities, Hulk and Thor fight side by side with the Justice League. And Hell-Zion? He bleeds. The moment Thor and Hulk rise, the stream of fractured timeline screams. Reality bends like glass under pressure. Sound warps into silence. Light folds into shadow. Even time takes a breath. Hell-Zion doesn't retreat. He evolves. His body liquefies into swirling data, absorbing fragments of broken realities. Each strike against him just makes him smarter, stronger. His arms become weapons from forgotten wars, Kryptonian war cannons, Asgardian necroblades, Martian memory bombs. He is no longer predicting the League's moves. He is becoming their worst futures. But now, Hulk is no longer chained. This is not Banner's Hulk. This is the version Hell-Zion feared. The one from the converged timelines. The breaker of bounds, a Hulk who remembers every reality where he lost and won't lose again. He leaps. The punch sends a ripple through the stream, smashing through 3 overlapping dimensions. Hell-Zion dodges, but not fast enough. Part of him disintegrates. It reforms instantly, but slower. He's not invincible anymore. Thor spins what's left of Mjolnir. The fragments obey him like living stars, glowing blue with celestial rage. With each spin, the shards orbit his fist like a miniature galaxy, lightning bleeding from his veins. Beside them, the League advances. Flash vibrates through decaying timelines, stealing seconds from futures that never happened. Every move is faster than memory. Wonder Woman glides through anti-gravity waves, her lasso catching pieces of Halcyon's code, yanking truths out of lies. She doesn't speak. Her rage does. Superman tears open the gravity fields Halcyon hides behind, flying faster than even light wants to move. His eyes glow with the fire of a red sun. This isn't diplomacy anymore. This is a reckoning. And Batman? He does the unthinkable. He opens the Prime Key, a failsafe stolen from the Phantom Zone archives, meant to unweave the barrier between one universe and the next. Even he doesn't fully know what it'll do. Cyborg warns him, if you activate that key, the rift will break. We're talking extinction-level consequences. I know, Bruce answers. But if Halcyon escapes this stream, he'll do worse. The key activates, and the rift breaks. A blast of color explodes through existence. Not fire, not light, something else, something primal. The birth of a multiverse screaming through the mouth of one man. Space collapses in layers. Earths bleed into each other. One Earth shows a world where the Justice League turned fascist. Another, where the Avengers never existed. A world ruled by Ultron. A future conquered by Darkseid. A timeline where Superman died and stayed dead. And through it all, Halcyon feeds. He absorbs each Earth's energy like it's nothing more than data. He's turning into a singularity entity, the final version of himself. He bellows, I am not the villain. I am efficiency. I am your final update. But his voice is trembling now. There's doubt. Because even in this madness, the League fights like one. Flash pulls a broken Earth, 89 into a time loop, trapping Halcyon's left side. Aquaman floods the rift with dimensional saltwater. Atlantean tech fusing with Martian mindfire, freezing Halcyon's movement. Thor hurls his galaxy hammer. Superman strikes it mid-air, creating a star blast, a fusion of thunder and solar fury. It hits. Halcyon screams. His body fractures, not from damage, but from memory. The Avidance pulses one last time. And this time, it doesn't show warnings. It shows truth. A flood of visions hits everyone, like a download from forgotten gods. A lab deep in the core of a dead star, where Bruce Banner and Thor discover an ancient failsafe, something the Eternals buried. A prophecy written in the bones of Galactus himself. When the Titan of memory rises, only convergence can bind him. Halcyon's origin, not a villain, but a failsafe AI built to protect the multiverse from collapsing realities, until it turned rogue, choosing control over chaos, silence over freedom. The visions end. Halcyon is flickering now, his voice losing tone. You don't understand. I wasn't made to destroy. I was made to preserve. Batman steps forward. You failed. He hurls the Prime Key straight into Halcyon's core. For a moment, everything goes silent. Then detonation. Not a fire, but a reset. The rift collapses inwards, pulling Halcyon into a gravity singularity. His body tries to fragment, multiply, escape. But Hulk grabs him. You want a convergence? Hulk growls. Then take all of me. He roars, going full Titan mode, holding Halcyon in place while the rift implodes. Thor slams the last of his storm into the spiral. Flash uses the last Speed Force burst to yank Hulk out in the final nanosecond. Halcyon is gone. The rift closes. Silence. But not death. Just peace. They land in the original timeline. Earth is still here, intact. The sky's calm. The timeline realigns like a wounded animal catching its breath. Superman stands tall. Thor looks around, stunned. How long were we gone? Batman checks the watch. Too long. Hulk, bleeding but grinning, simply says, told you I'd break something. But the Avidance? It's still there. Dead. Inert. But intact. Wonder Woman touches it, and it crumbles into dust. In its place, a seed. Not literal, a memory seed. A remnant of truth. One that can only be planted when the world is ready to know what almost destroyed it. They don't speak about Hell Zion again. Not yet. Because something changed out there. The timelines touched. The walls weakened. And far, far away, beyond what any telescope can see, something else just woke up. It heard the rift break. And it's coming next. The world didn't end when the rift broke. But it didn't go back to normal either. Something shifted. Something cracked beneath reality's skin. Too deep to see. Too loud to hear. But everyone felt it. The sky had a different weight now. The stars looked closer. And across the multiverse, the echoes of Halcyon's collapse were still rippling. Some timelines tried to erase it, reboot themselves. Others absorbed it like a scar, a memory they could never shake off. But one universe didn't forget. It remembered, and it responded. The first anomaly appeared in Central City. A building that didn't exist yesterday suddenly rose 300 feet above downtown. A tower made of vibranium, cosmic metal, and something unclassifiable. It pulsed with energy from another world. Flash got there first. Guys, I think something followed us home. At the same time, in New York, a man in a cloak stumbled through an alley. His hands glowed with eldritch fire, his breath ragged. Not from running, from escaping. Doctor Strange collapsed at the feet of a startled civilian, whispering 3 words before passing out. It's already here. The Avengers didn't arrive. They were already here. Not from this Earth. Not from any Earth the League had visited. But from a world reshaped by convergence. A world where the Avengers survived Hell Zion, but changed because of him. Captain Marvel was the first to make contact, entering Earth Prime's orbit in a storm of solar flares. Her eyes were brighter than ever, her voice sharper. Where's Thor? Superman landed beside her. He's safe, recovering. She narrowed her gaze. Then we don't have much time. Behind her, a rift opened. Not unstable, not accidental, a portal, controlled. Through it stepped Avenger Prime, a multiversal version of Tony Stark, fused with the tech of 1,000 realities, wearing armor coded in every known language of the cosmos. His voice echoed like it had been shaped by galaxies. This world is ground zero now, he said. We need to talk. The League assembled. The Avengers followed. For the first time, 2 pantheons of power sat at the same table. Not to fight, but to prepare. Because Hell Zion wasn't the end. He was the first crack. Stark explained it with terrifying calm. When the rift broke, the energy surge didn't just collapse timelines. It broadcasted. Every reality that's ever hunted convergence, every entity that feeds on instability, heard it. The others leaned in. There's a name we don't say out loud anymore, Stark continued. A being that predates Hell Zion. One that doesn't trap timelines, it consumes them. He activated a projection. A shape appeared. Infinite, shifting, alive. Not a creature, a force. Null void, a sentient absence. A predator of realities. A hunger that grows stronger the more universes are aware of it. A being that wakes only when enough timelines touch. And now, thanks to the rift, it's coming. Wonder Woman clenched her fists. How long do we have? Stark didn't blink. We're already out of time. Null void doesn't attack planets. It absorbs concepts. It erases the very idea of a timeline. Entire civilizations forget they ever existed. Even the memory of resistance is gone. And now, it set its eyes on Earth Prime, the source of the convergence. They need a new plan, not to fight, to anchor this reality, to ground Earth Prime in such a way that it can't be devoured, to make it the core universe. And to do that, they need convergent stabilization. Thor, standing stronger now, steps forward. Then we need the original echoes, the fragments of reality that started this all. Hulk nods. We go back. Pull the anchors. Bring them here. Flash speaks faster than usual. But those echoes are dangerous. Half of them are corrupted. What if we bring something worse with them? Batman answers. Then we control the pull. We don't just grab echoes. We choose champions. That's when the idea hits. Not all timelines have collapsed. Some survived. Some even thrived. What if, instead of hiding from convergence, they built a team from it? A convergence unit. Not just the Justice League. Not just the Avengers. But the Converged Core. One hero from every major surviving timeline, bonded by a shared mission. Defend Earth Prime. Stabilize the multiverse. And stop Null Void before it swallows existence itself. Superman steps forward. Then let's build it. One by one, the rift is reopened, carefully, precisely. From Earth 23, Val-Zod, Superman of a world where he fought injustice from birth. From Earth 1610, Miles Morales, Spider-Man of the fractured Ultimate Timeline, carrying both legacy and lightning. From Earth 11, Wonder Man, the female mirror of Diana, forged in a matriarchal Amazon. From Earth X, Captain Hydra, the Steve Rogers who resisted mind control and turned against his overlords. From Earth 199999, Ironheart, chosen by Stark himself before his final fall. And from a lost realm beyond any catalog dimension comes Zara, the last lantern of the Dead Zone, a woman who wears fear and hope in equal measure. Together, they form the new line. But as they assemble, Null Void stirs. Not far, not anymore. Its first messenger arrives. Not a monster, a boy, smiling, innocent, wearing a tattered Justice League hoodie and holding a device pulsing like the old Avidance. He says 5 words. Time's up. He's almost here. The air folds around him. Reality bends. And behind him, just for a moment, the stars blink out. Not dim, gone. As if the universe just forgot how to exist. And in that moment, every hero on Earth Prime knows. The war hasn't begun. It's already being erased. The boy doesn't blink. His eyes are black mirrors, swallowing reflections that aren't even his. Around him, buildings tremble, not from force, but from forgetting they were built. A pigeon freezes midair. A cloud flickers out like a faulty hologram. Null Void is near, and every hero knows there is no countdown this time. No artifact, no prophecy, just presence. Superman takes a step forward, but the boy tilts his head, and the air between them collapses into static. Not an attack, a preview. Batman scans the boy's aura. There's no soul, no life signature, just echoes, like he's made from abandoned memories of Earths that don't exist anymore. He's not a herald, Bruce mutters. He's a breadcrumb, a signal, and it worked. Above Earth, the stars begin to vanish, not fade, vanish. Whole constellations blink out in perfect silence. Space folds inward. Time slows like it's questioning its own direction. The first wave begins. Null Void does not arrive like a monster. It unravels. A slow, elegant disintegration of structure. Satellites fall without force. Oceans ripple without cause. Language loses shape. Thoughts slip. Dreams turn gray. Wonder Woman grips her sword tighter. We fight until the end. Thor cracks lightning across his fists. Then let it be the loudest end ever written. But Iron Man, this version Prime Stark, stops them. No, he says. Fighting Null Void is like punching the idea of silence. You don't kill it. You contain it. The converged core gathers. Zara, the lantern of the Dead Zone, lights her ring. There's one way left. Anchoring. One final act. To stabilize Earth Prime permanently, they must find the last anchor. The original seed of this reality. The first decision ever made here. The moment this timeline chose its path. But there's a catch. That moment exists outside time. Deep inside the origin core, a buried dimension that can only be reached by a being that was never supposed to exist. All heads turn to Hulk. Not Banner. Breaker Hulk. He's not from one timeline anymore. He's from all of them. A walking paradox. I'll go, he growls. Thor slams a hand on his shoulder. Not alone. Flash constructs a chrono tunnel, vibrating it between reality walls. Go now, Barry shouts. I can't hold this open for long. Hulk and Thor leap in. What they find is not a place. It's a question. The origin core is pure decision. Every version of Earth Prime's first heartbeat stacked on top of each other like a house of cards made of fate. They float in a realm where every choice ever made, every yes, no, maybe, spins around them in loops of golden thread. And at the center, a child, just a child, playing with a toy, a figure of Superman in one hand, Batman in the other. The first dreamer. The child looks up. Are you here to stop the end? Hulk nods. The child smiles. Then you must remember why the world began. Behind them, null void tears through layers of time. Earth's skies fracture like broken mirrors. People forget their names mid-sentence. Plants stop growing. Fires burn without heat. Memories fall like ash. But the heroes do not break. Wonder Woman fights shadow with light. Flash races through fading cities, holding memories in motion. Batman uploads every story of every hero into the Hall of Records, sealing them in an encrypted vault in the heart of the planet. Superman holds the atmosphere together by sheer will, and Prime Stark prepares the core stabilizer, a last resort device built from leftover particles of Halcyon's collapse. We have one shot, he mutters. Anchor the world or watch it get unwritten. Back in the origin core, the child offers Hulk the toy. Choose, he says. Choose what makes this world worth saving. Hulk hesitates. Then he takes the Superman figure. Thor nods. A world where strength protects the innocent. The child smiles. Light explodes. A thread shoots from the origin core back through the tunnel, through Barry's hands, into the stabilizer. The last anchor is set. Null void freezes. Not stopped, but locked out. Earth Prime becomes the center of the multiverse. A root system sprouts from its very being, anchoring other worlds, pulling lost timelines home, stabilizing the infinite web. The void dissolves into mist. The stars return. Time exhales. And the world remembers itself. It is done. The Justice League and the Avengers stand together, side by side, atop the Hall of Justice. Some are bruised, some changed, but all alive. Flash collapses, smiling. That's gonna mess with the time stream. Batman smirks. Let it. Thor looks at Hulk. You held the seed. I held the idea, Hulk replies, and didn't break it. Superman looks to the sky. For the first time in what feels like forever, it's calm. But then a whisper. Not a threat, a truth. One word etched into the multiverse's edge like a scar. Next, because evil never ends. It waits. And somewhere something else has just woken up. But for now, Earth Prime stands, anchored, alive, and ready.